Skinwalker Ranch, one of the most mysterious, cursed, interesting places on the planet, in my opinion. Skinwalker Ranch is approximately 480 yards, 480 acres of land. It borders Native American land. Skinwalker in Indian means shapeshifter, trickster, a trickster spirit basically, or an animal or a human hybrid that can transform before your eyes. Now this weirdness has been going on for some time, but the weirdness really picked up when two people, Terry and Gwen Sherman, bought the land and the ranch in 1994. And as soon as they bought the ranch, they moved in and they discovered these huge bolts and locks on the exterior doors. And that should be the first clue that something was way wrong with the area. But the first time they encountered something weird was when a huge wolf, almost like a dire wolf in size, came up to them. Friendly, wagged its tail about 10 yards from them, and suddenly went after one of the animals. And he tried to fight it off with a broomstick. Nothing happened. Would not let the animal go. Then Terry Sherman brought out one of his .357 Magnums, shot the animal point blank range, and nothing happened. Shot again, still nothing happened. Shot a third time, it finally dropped the animal and looked at him. And continued on to shoot the animal over and over again. A clump of skin came off, and about it, and they ran up into the woods. They chased the animal a good mile or so, followed the footprints, and it disappeared basically. The footprint stopped, and the animal was nowhere to be found. Now, when you shoot an animal with a .357 gun, usually it drops to the ground. At least bleeds. No blood, no nothing. And animals just don't disappear in the thin air like that. That wasn't the first time the wolf either. The wife also saw the wolf again later on. So I guess it survived the attacks, and it probably really wasn't a wolf to begin with if you shoot it like 7 times with a Magnum gun and it doesn't die or drops to the ground. And more weird stuff was followed as time went on in the Skinwalker Ranch. Weird animals were seen on the ranch that have never been seen before on this planet, could not be identified at all, running late at night and during the daytime. Invisible creatures that were cloaked like the predator. You could see the outline moving through the trees, whatever, but there was no color, no foundation at all. You could tell something was there, moving through the land, but it was invisible. And most of the activity did happen at night. Pastures lighting up for no reason, no lights involved whatsoever. The grass would light up. Crop circles came on the scene later on, as well as UFOs. The children of the family said there were 3 different kinds of UFOs they saw on thousands of sightings in the 2 years. Not only them, neighbors too, and then surrounding area, chased a blue orb into the woods. A yelp was heard by all 3 dogs, and the rancher ran out there after them and could not find him anywhere. The next day, he went out there again, saw 3 small patches of burnt grass where the dogs were yelping at. The dogs were never seemed to disappear. They seemed to disappear in thin air. They were never found again. In total, over the time they were seen, there were 7 lost dogs. What the more shocking one is how many steer he lost the whole time. He had about 200 cows or steers, combination, whatever, and through the whole time, 18 ended up missing. A couple of them were found mutilated. No blood, precision-like cuts. I mean, our knives can do, basically. Real precision type, like you'd find in a butcher shop. Organs missing, holes drilled in the animal, and no blood anywhere. All the blood was drained from the animals. Your classic cow mutilation. And not only that, I mean, I would have moved out a long time ago when we're packing. We're getting the fuck out of here, basically. Excuse my French. But more things happen too, other than this lights and weird animals. She would come home with groceries, put the groceries away, go to the bathroom for like 5 minutes, come out, and all the groceries would be back in the bag where they began. Other times, he would be up there trimming bushes or cutting trees, whatever, and he'd put it down, turn around, and the chainsaw would be gone. Only to be found a week later, chainsaw on the tree 40 feet up in the air. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'd be freaking out a little bit about that kind of stuff, and there's more. This is probably the most paranormal place on the planet, basically. And we'll get into the reasons why later on in the show, as well as the next owner, too. This is going to be a nice, long topic chat, folks. So, buckle in. It gets even more weirder as we go on. And you'll have chills down your spine, eventually, when I drop the bombshell on you about this place. Not only did you have the weird orbs flowing around, weird creatures, just the weird lights, spotlights coming out of nowhere, coming up from the sky with no plane above it. At times you'd hear two people talking 20 feet above you in broken English, and as it came over you, the voices, it suddenly stops. But there's more. In addition to UFOs, there were weird drones too, and they would fly above them, like a miniature stealth plane would fly up above them. And other weird-looking drones. Maybe one time he claimed he saw a flying Winnebago, which, you know, kind of sounds like, oh, you were smoking something or you were drunker and shit, basically. But the interesting part, though, is neighbors saw UFOs and weird stuff, too. Neighbors saw weird creatures running in their backyards. Creatures you've never seen before. Like a red-haired hyena was described at one time, not a hyena, though. Faster than a hyena. It was like a blur. Indians from the UTE tribe, Ute tribe, say the Skinwalker Ranch is cursed. They will avoid it at all costs. And next to the ranch is where the Skinwalker supposedly lives, by Indian lore. So is it just a Skinwalker, or is it more? I mean, you have UFOs, you have cattle mutilations, you have crop circles. You have weird lights in the sky, you have blue orbs. A hotspot. Could it be like a energy vortex? Could it be like a portal? A possible Stargate? When creatures you've never seen before, they pop in and pop out? And the best yet, even sightings of Bigfoot in the area too. So you have all these creatures, all these lights everywhere. And they're staying here for 2 years. Pretty brave. And this guy's a rancher. He has good aim for the gun. He's trained in shooting a gun. And he shot this creature, like I said before, 7 times with a .357 Magnum. That should kill the creature. And the little clump of scales left behind smelled rotten. He asked the neighbors about the wolf creature, and they never seen anything like that, but they see other creatures, though. And even stranger yet, though, and more terrifying, almost like a horror movie, when they slept at night, they would see weird faces in the glass, or in the windows. They would see, like, the Skinwalker itself. Deformed face, or a demonic-looking creature, or an alien-looking creature. And eventually, they got so scared they slept all in one room together. One person would take turns keeping watch. But not only did you have weird things look at you through the windows, you also had weird sounds, too. Weird howls, weird screams, and weird smells, too. Musty smells, sulfur-like smells coming from nowhere, basically. And all this is documented by his family. What happened before, no one ever documented anything. There was strange stuff in the area before that. This is the Sherman family, who owned the ranch for 2 years. And how Nata in the room says, so paranormal stuff too? Yes, paranormal stuff, you have everything. You have almost every single creature and every single sight and sound from the CT world in one place. And they had people who would come up to the ranch, some Indians would meditate at times. Now this is the other freaky part. He was out in the field meditating, and this rancher was out there with them. And suddenly saw something in the corner of his eye in the field coming toward them. They're very fast-paced. It was cloaked. You could see something's coming at you, though we couldn't see any outline or anything because it was like some sort of predator, basically. And it came near the person praying. It could have been a shaman. It was an Indian meditating. And it came close to the Indian, the thing, the creature, the entity, and the Indian grabbed the rancher's arm hard and crawled up in a fetal position, scared, terrified out of his mind. He never came back to the ranch again after that. And I don't blame him, to be honest. So in retrospect, his family moves in. First thing they see is these huge locks and bolts in the doors, you know. Then you have the sighting of the wolf, who cannot be killed. Strange animals running around. Creatures never seen on this planet before. You have shell-like creatures running around, cloaked. You have UFOs. You have orbs. And you have sightings of Bigfoot. And the strangest stuff is yet to come. But for now, after introduction, I'm going to turn this part over to Puss in Boots for her reaction and her comments on this part. Then we'll move on to the most fascinating part of all, the second owner.
The introduction. I had a few things that I wanted to read off of here in a few minutes, if that's okay. I wanted to read from the wiki page, and it will introduce kind of my idea on what's going on. Let me start here. Claims about the ranch first appeared in the Salt Lake City, Utah Desert News, and later in the alternative weekly Las Vegas Mercury as a series of articles by journalist George Knapp. These early stories detailed the claims that a family had recently purchased and occupied the property only to experience an array of inexplicable and frightening events. Cole Heller and co-author George Knapp subsequently authored a book in which they described the ranch being acquired by the National Institute for Discovery Science to study anecdotal sightings of UFOs, Bigfoot-like creatures, crop circles, glowing orbs, and poltergeist activity reported by its former owners. The ranch, located in I can't even pronounce that, Unitah County bordering the Ute Indian Reservation, was popularly dubbed the UFO Ranch due to its ostensible 50-year history of odd events said to have taken place there. Knapp and Kelleher cite the 1974 book, The Utah UFO Display, a scientific report by Frank Salisbury and Joseph Jr. Hicks, which details an earlier investigation into alleged UFO sightings in the Unitah County region. As partial confirmation of their account, according to Kelleher and Knapp, they saw or investigated evidence of close to 100 incidents that include vanishing and mutilated cattle, sightings of unidentified flying objects or orbs, large animal with piercing red eyes, and they are not injured when struck by bullets, and invisible objects emitting destructive magnetic fields. And this is where I want to start my ideas on this. It is bordering the Ute Indian Reservation. I have looked at the Ute Mountains, which does look like an Indian chief laying down asleep. What immediately brought to my mind was the face on Mars. What if our origins on this planet are, as they say, what if by chance the faces on Mars and our planet hold the key to understanding pretty much everything we cannot explain? To me, the area has been filled with some kind of energy that we can't find or record or study as of yet. Described a cataclysm that happened, which brought about a worldwide flood that lasted a great while. In the book, it described the Earth to flood and stop rotation for a bit. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Colorado neighbors Utah. What if that event created such a shift in time or energy so massive that the one area things that do not or should not happen end up happening? The Indians knew of areas in the land that were sacred and hold magical powers. They for generations talked of this area. It is said, and I for one believe in it. Another thing I wanted to point out is perhaps on the opposite side of this event, there's happenings that cannot be explained on the other side of the world. Like Bermuda Triangle has Devil's Triangle off Japan. This event that went through the earth came out in Indian Ocean between Madagascar and Australia. Now, I'm not up to date on any happenings in that area, but what if it does bear into mind to watch for all of us to think on this? And to look at one subject is great, however, we should also think of the other things that could lead to this one thing. It's the dots, so to speak. The reason we all get together to talk is to bring forth our knowledge and form ideas on what is actually going on in our lives on planet Earth. And we all know part of the puzzle, and that is the greatness of this is the solving. So that's pretty much my idea on this.
Thank you for that. And looking back, you kind of wonder what's going on here. Something's attracting all these creatures and possibly aliens to this area. I mean, is there like an energy vortex somewhere they use? Or is it really cursed, like the Indians say? I mean, well, you have multi-dimensional creatures here going in and out of dimensions. One thing's for sure, there's something to this area, because after 2 years of time, the Sherman family got sick of it and they wanted to leave and sell the place. And I have been out there probably the first month, to be honest, after all that crap went down, but they stuck it out, though. They're being brave or possibly even dumb, but I want everybody to listen closely, sit back, and get ready for some shocking information. I need a buyer for the property. Robert Bigelow. You're saying, who's Robert Bigelow? Who's Robert Bigelow? Robert Bigelow was the owner of Budget Suites. He got rich off that, basically. He was a CTer like us. Probably more so unless he was fascinated by UFOs and the paranormal. He heard about Skinwalker Ranch and he bought it. For a measly $2 in 1996. The ranch with 480 acres was his. He wanted to use it for research. Research for what, you may ask? All the paranormal stuff going on. He hired some very good scientists and a vet and some other people. You know what else he hired? Colonel John Alexander. Like, who's that? Colonel who? Colonel what? If you know anything about CT theories and the CT world, you would recognize Colonel John Alexander's name. He was in charge of the Super Soldier program in Vietnam. He was in charge of black projects for the government. He was in charge of paranormal projects for the government. This guy is the real deal, and he's freaky. I interviewed with him with Jesse Ventura. His facial expressions were scary. And we'll get more of that eventually down the road. But Robert Bigelow would eventually create his empire of aerospace. Bigelow Aerospace is his company. And SpaceX teamed up with him. He wants to build a space station up in outer space for everybody, the common folks. Well, those who have money anyways. He already has 2 pods in space. He's doing more this year with the SpaceX company. And here's the bombshell that you all have been waiting for. He must have discovered something at Skinwalker Ranch. He still owns it, obviously. Well, I discovered to my shock that Robert Bigelow is now part owner of MUFON, the UFO reporting agency. Just thinking about that for a second. MUFON, M-U-F-O-N, MUFON. They take in reports of UFOs from everybody. Here's the shocking thing, though. If you file a report of UFOs with the government, it goes directly to, you guessed it, Robert Bigelow now. What the hell did he discover at that ranch? Let's get into that a little bit, shall we? Really freaky stuff. Let me get a drink of water real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Guy that goes, Alexander is a spook who knows the value of disinformation. Yeah, he does. He's a scary dude. But he has all these new scientists, you know, these physicists, a veterinarian on the scene. They put up all these devices for recording and voice and anomalies. The anomalies in the field one day, they put cameras over there and stuff. And anomalies that night happen in another field. They would see some phenomenon in the sky, they point a camera there, disappear, and go somewhere else. Every time they tried to tape it or record it, it would happen somewhere else. It's like they knew where it was recorded at, and it wouldn't do anything there. It would do it in the field next to it. So you have all this events going on, you can't tape it because it's not allowing you to tape it, basically. It knows you're trying to tape it, and it avoids it. So supposedly he's got some information, but he hasn't released anything to the public. It's hard to get an interview with this guy. Nobody get anywhere near close to him. Jesse Ventura, former governor, former SEAL, current conspiracy theorist, try to interview him, and he didn't give anything up at all. Very few, hardly any information at all about UFOs or anything. He avoided the questions at all costs. And he said basically the world's not really ready for it. Wonderful, huh? But supposedly there's rumors about what happened with some of his security guards tried to encounter one of the entities and they lost their lives. Whether they were fighting an alien or a Skinwalker itself, who knows? There's vague rumors about that. I guess one of the scientists was frozen and the entity or creature whispered to her, "You guys need to leave. You are not wanted here." And Mr. Bigelow still owns the ranch to this day. You can't enter the ranch. Armed security guards. Probably from Blackwater, to be honest. And the weirdest thing about Bigelow and his aerospace company is, if you look at the insignia and his company logo, it's a picture of a gray. They're one of the biggest aerospace companies in the world, who's currently building a space station. Has a logo of a gray alien in front of the insignia. It makes you wonder, what did he really discover there? In 1996, he bought the place. He's been doing tests ever since. It's closed off to the public. You're not wanted there. There's armed guard there. People tried to snuck in before, and they've been shot at before. They've been arrested. Now, years later, you have Jesse Ventura and his team, when he did his show. He did a show on the Skinwalker Ranch. When he heard about this, he sent his crew down there, okay. And his crew, first night they were down there, it was nighttime, and their radio was making weird sounds. Going in and out. I watched the video, I watched the show. And over the stretch you could hear, "Real evil. Do not go here. Real evil, do not go here." So they're outside the gates during nighttime, and suddenly you see a red UFO. It's on camera too. It's on the show. They're not making this stuff up. It zigzagged for a little bit and disappeared. It freaked them out pretty good, pretty bad. Seeing the video going, kapoots, and voices coming through the radio and seeing the UFO, they were pretty scared actually. And they're trying to interview Robert Bigelow. They didn't have much luck. They got some things out of him, basically, and not a lot of vague stuff. Then, Jesse Ventura sat down with Colonel John Alexander. They were just staring at each other. And you could tell there's some tension there. And he asked him about the supposed shooting of the 2 guards by alien creatures, and he said it was somewhere else, happened in South America. That wasn't us. I didn't really get much out of him in that interview, but if you want to look at my thread, there's another interview with him saying he admits to the Skinwalker wax something being really real there. Strange stuff. He doesn't know what it is or where it comes from, but he knows the branch isn't charged up with this energy, basically. A lot of weird things have gone on there. He's no longer with Mr. Bigelow, supposedly, but he worked for him for a while. So he had this colonel who did experiments in Vietnam of the super soldier program. Jacob's Ladder. You ever seen that movie? Scary stuff. So why would you have somebody who did experiments on soldiers, make them almost near invincible, on a paranormal ranch? Doesn't make sense, does it? Or does it make sense? Follow the breadcrumbs. Okay? Robert Bigelow, billionaire, yes, billionaire, off his budget suites. I never stayed at one before, but I heard they're pretty nice. It's not a plug for him either. But his main goal for the suites was to go into space. He's fascinated by space. He wants to be out there. He wants to live out there, he said. This is why he's building a space station. A pod system of space stations, though, but it could be the size of a city before it's all said and done. And he teamed up with SpaceX, which has its own rockets, good rockets. And it's really going to be a lot of activity this year, he said, in 2016. Putting more pods on his station. But what's really interesting is him being part of MUFON. And any UFO reports go directly to him from the government. So now we know the government doesn't handle UFO reports anymore, supposedly. It goes to Mr. Robert Bigelow with his little alien insignia on his company. And there's a report at one time, and it was on his website about his alien friends, and the next day it was gone. So what is this place, Skinwalker Ranch? A vortex of energy? A portal? Could it be a stargate of some kind? Why is this the most active area on the planet almost? What do you think, Puss in Boots?
I wanted to bring up that I had an idea on the UFO sightings and orbs and crop circles that maybe this energy or ley line or whatever it is that was created by that cataclysm could indeed pique the interest of UFO and orbs, and the crop circles may be a result of this. I mean, the event may have disrupted the natural flow of energy, and it could have concentrated all of that energy into the Colorado area, into Utah. It's something that we're not as a civilization yet able to comprehend, and there's so many things that we cannot measure. That does not mean that it's not there, though. Like, for instance, the Anasazi were near the Four Corners, and they ended up disappearing. So it's my thoughts that this energy in the Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico somehow can contact UFOs, or it is visited by UFOs more frequently than any other place on the planet. And there has to be something to the energies present there. And I do believe that you're definitely on something with the ranch and the reason that Bigelow has it. I believe that there is something there, and they know what it is, and they're using it.
Oh, there's definitely something there when you have armed guards that are trained, ex-military soldiers, Blackwater, patrolling the area. Signs all over the place. You will be arrested for trespassing and or shot at. And people have camped out outside the ranch, and they've seen weird stuff, weird lights, orbs over the area. Neighbors nearby claim they see UFOs all the time. This is a magnet, a hotbed for paranormal activity. Yeah, if you got to shoot at it, it's not no good. Why are you protecting a ranch with trained military ex-soldiers? You know? I mean, this is not some schmuck place. This is a billionaire. He's a mogul of budget suites. And he's also obviously connected to the military and the government because when you have Colonel John Alexander on your team, something's up. Colonel John Alexander is a show in itself, basically, but I wouldn't trust the word coming out of his mouth. Well, you know, when he's around, something's going on, obviously. Watch his videos. Seriously, guys, it's creepy. Even Alex Jones says he's scared of him, which, you know, that's Alex Jones, though. And I don't pay Alex Jones much mind, to be honest. The space stuff, almost. I mean, they're trying to go to Mars and stuff, but they don't do shuttle missions anymore. The private sector is picking it up. And one of the biggest of the private sector is Robert Bigelow. It's $1 million company, almost $1 billion company. Yeah, space station not run by NASA. No rules involved. You have to follow government, or you don't have to follow government. It's space. You do what you want up there. And there's been some people saying he tests weapons for them out in space too, though, because he's not involved with the government. He can get away with it, which I wouldn't doubt. He only claims he has 2 pods up there. I'm sure he has more. Liberty says the government drags its feet and charges too much for the space program. Yeah, I agree. Well, I also think they have a black space program too. They do on the side that we don't know about. There's rockets constantly going up in California, Florida, and other places. There's more food going to space station than they actually need up there. So where's it going? Are they storing the food? No. And don't forget the Chinese have their own space station too. We don't talk about hardly at all. I do believe Russia still has theirs up there. But we haven't had our own space station since Skylab, basically. I mean, we have a multinational one up there right now. So, what did he discover in the ranch? He's had it since 1996. Off limits to everybody. After he got the ranch, he suddenly built this massive aerospace company and teams up with SpaceX. He's now co-owner of MUFON, which some files you can't get anymore because they're not available to the public. Isn't that interesting? He's out from the government, though, but he owns part of MUFON. He says, you can't see these files because I said so. I think he discovered something in the ranch. And he bought MUFON and discovered those secrets in some of the files that they don't tell the public about. And now you can't see them anymore because he owns them. Did he have extraterrestrial contact, maybe? Something happened. You just don't buy a ranch for no reason, then shut it off from everybody with armed guards. And the weird still goes on. It's died down a little bit, though, supposedly, but we can't know for sure because we can't go on the ranch. And it's just not UFO stuff either. It's paranormal stuff. It's poltergeist stuff, you know, knocking on walls. Weird demonic-looking creatures looking at the window at you when you're sleeping. Weird noises, weird smells. What exactly is this place? Perhaps a portal to the spirit world, maybe? Or perhaps it is alien in nature, to a certain extent. There's just all the UFOs flying around and stuff. Well, you're like, well, how can that be spiritual then if it's UFOs? If you read the Bible, the Torah, Lucifer, Satan is the prince and power of the air. Do you think the angels fly around from planet to planet with their wings? No. They probably have craft. If you believe in angels, they've been around for millions of years. They have technology that probably blow our minds. And you're currently listening to Live Propagating Radio, Live Topic Chat. And Puss and Boots has some more things to add to this. I turn it over now to my co-host, Puss in Boots.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up Lexi had mentioned that there's something that we haven't brought up, and that's Utah has a vast assortment of crystals, and they hold a lot of energy, or at least, people do believe that it does hold a lot of energy, and it's like a paranormal cocktail out there. And also that there is Skinwalker type phenomenon in Australia. And the book that I had read, Earth Epics, talked about something going through the earth, through Colorado and coming out the other side, which would in between Madagascar and Australia. So it could have created some enormous amount of energy and problems. And I thought it was awesome of Lackadaisical Lexi to bring that up. And I just wanted to put that in there for those who don't have mics. That way other people are contributing in here too.
It's supposed to show by mountains too. It's more like a little valley, But yeah, look at Mount Shasta. I mean, there's some weird stuff goes on there too. I mean, well, this is definitely a hotbed. I mean, this is one of the more popular CT stories out there, Skinwalker Ranch. So it's now known as Bigelow Ranch because, he has to have his name on it, of course. But whatever he found out, he's not telling anybody, though. He's asked about the ranch. He doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to be interviewed. He photographed. He keeps to himself. You would think if he discovered something, he wanted to tell the public about it, but maybe what he found is something we're not ready for. Think about that for a minute. Everybody asked, was he involved with the space company before he bought the ranch? No, it came afterwards. Everything came after the ranch. Buying a MUFON, Bigelow Aerospace, and now recently partnering with SpaceX. Now he's the way he gets stuff into space now, He's a modern day Howard Hughes, to be honest. But he's even more private than Howard Hughes ever was. What's the next step after the space station? Maybe a colony on the moon, maybe colonies on Mars. If he plays his cards right, he can be the new NASA, not connected to the government. He can do what he wants. There's no laws in space, is there? And somebody brought up earlier, a weapons platform. I wouldn't doubt it. If the government did it, you're breaking the rules of NATO, you're breaking the rules of the United Nations if you do that. The weapons are supposed to be allowed in space, supposedly, but if you're your own little private contractor, you can do what you want. You're not bound to government laws. It's just scary who he has with him, and some of these scientists, look at the scientists and the physicists he has with him. These are top scientists. And of course, you have Colonel John Alexander, who is in charge of many top secret things, many controversial subjects of paranormal. The Super Soldier program in Vietnam, Jacob's Ladder. Well, you have this ranch. It's not some small ranch either. Not at all. 480 acres of land. That's a lot of land. And throughout all these acres, you have activity going on now and then. It's not every night, but it happens though. It's just not on the ranch. It has woods too. That's where they chased the wolf into. And they tracked down the wolf, and all they found were the footprints and nothing left. It disappeared. The footprints stopped, and they couldn't find it anywhere. 3/4 of a square mile by Black Ghost. Very good. Thank you. That's a lot of land, though, man. And Bigelow's not government, though, but he has people who work for the government who work for him, though. And the government has funded this a little bit too on the side. They found out, they did some paper trailing, whatever, and they found out the government has fed Mr. Bigelow some money. So, kind of questionable, isn't it? It's obvious they found something there. There's books galore about it. There's a shitty movie about it. You know, fictional movie. Don't bother watching, guys. It's horrible. But it's mainstream. You know, it's a mainstream CT. Everybody knows about Skinwalker Ranch. Everybody's read the books. Everybody's seen videos and shows on it. You've had every conspiracy show has done a show on it. You had Jesse Ventura, when he was doing CT topics, he had a big show about that. There are other conspiracy people done shows about it on TV. And some of them have caught some stuff on camera too. I mean, there's some photographs. There's no photographs of entities or anything, because every time you take a picture of one, it doesn't show up. You put a camera in one field because there's activity, and there's in the field next to it. It's like some mocking them almost. You know? The trickster, the skinwalker. Any lore legend. It's tricking them. Playing games with their minds. It takes their stuff, disappears, and you find it a week later. Playful, sometimes sometimes not. I mean, you have 3 missing dogs, most likely dead from that. He has 4 more dogs after that. They mysteriously disappeared. If 18 cattle disappeared or mutilated. And then you have reports of security guards getting in altercations with these entities and losing badly. The Indians are scared to step on that land. It's cursed, they said. Cursed land. The land of the skinwalker, the shapeshifter, the trickster. Mind games galore. If they're killing your cattle off or making your dogs disappear, it's not exactly good, is it? It's kind of evil. Let's be honest here, shall we? An evil trickster. Mixed in with aliens, UFOs, and Bigfoot, and strange creatures. It's like the CT playland for the weird. You know? Would I go on the ranch? I don't know, man. I'm pretty brave myself, though, but for all these stories and stuff, I bring some protection, some prayers, have a shaman with me or something. You know, some crystals. You live in the ranch 2 years of time, the Sherman family. 2 years of torture, basically. Huddle up in one room, sleep together, because things are looking at them through the window. Strange orbs, blue orbs bring fear over them. Dogs go chasing these orbs in the woods, and they disappear. There are 3 burn marks on the ground. Whatever's doing this stuff is not good. So what exactly is it? Is it demonic? Fallen angels? Angels, or a combination of the two? I would love to see somebody go on that ranch for a week and try to tape the stuff again, but as I said, you had these professionals doing it, and they couldn't get anything, supposedly. He's not releasing anything. He probably has something. He most likely has something if he wanted to go into the industry. Aerospace. SpaceX. And the weirdest thing of all, finding part of Bufon. He discovered something there, and he's not saying what it is. But if you look at what the Sherman family said, though, and all the stuff they went through, there's definitely something there. There's a lot of proof here, a lot of weirdness. And they brought in Catholic priests. No, they brought in a shaman one time, though. So, I don't think a priest would want to go there, to be honest. He'd be running afterwards. And you never know, though. If it's not demonic, then what is it then? Interdimensional creatures, possibly? Aliens? If the government's interested, there is something for it. What do you think, Room? So what do you think Skinwalker Ranch is all about, and I'll read them off on the radio for you. Is alien, demonic, both? What is the cause here? Obviously there's something to it. You have armed guards around the... Yes, pussnboots, could you get a mic for a little bit? I need to take a drink of water, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a couple of more of my ideas that I have come up with during the show as well, is that it could possibly just be, like I was thinking, you know, the energy from the Four Corners area from that cataclysm, but it could also be so many different ideas that we've had here tonight that it has to be a combination of all of it. And you talked about something as to why would he do the MUFON thing. Well, when he took over MUFON did not take reports of UFO sightings or whatever. I forget exactly what it was, but they stopped immediately, whatever it was. Forgive me for not knowing. I did ask the room and nobody remembered either. And that is important. Getting together, sharing our knowledge, sharing our thoughts, sharing our ideas, and sharing exactly what we know. So anyway, I wanted to pass the mic back to Luke, and thank you everybody for listening. This is Puss in Boots. You're listening to Biased Propaganda Radio, and I do appreciate you being here. It's been a very good show. Luke is a very awesome host. So I'm going to pass it back to you, Luke.
I want some more chills and woo. Let's talk about Alexander Crowley for a minute, shall we? You ever seen a spirit guide before? Looks like a gray alien, doesn't it? Now, what's the logo for Bigelow Aerospace? A gray alien. So if Alexander Crowley's spirit guide is a gray alien, which could be demonic in nature, and the logo for Bigelow Aerospace is demonic. Not a nice feeling, is it? The deeper you go, the more strange it gets. It's obvious we're not alone in this universe. Whether you believe in angels, aliens, or a combination. Liberty mentioned there was nuclear tests in the area, which could open a rift in the space-time continuum, or another dimension. And no, they're not us. No, I have a hard time reading Crowley's work because it gives off a bad vibe, in my opinion. But when I saw a spirit guy, I'm like, holy shit, it looks like a gray alien. And look it up. Alexander Crowley's spirit guide, and you'll see a picture of a big head, big eyes, like a gray alien. And why would you put a picture or a symbol of a gray alien on your company logo? You know? That should be a flag right there. Woo time! Oh yes, my favorite time of all. I bring the woo. That's my slogan. So years from now when I'm on radio with Liberty and Quinn and Luke, it's time to bring the woo. You know where it came from. Anyways, aren't reptilians supposed to be shapeshifters, Liberty goes? Yes. Reptilians are shapeshifters. See a bunch of garbage on YouTube all the time. President Bush shaping into a reptilian or some other stuff, though. But the reptilian species from the Draco system can shapeshift. From what they tell us, anyways. I've never seen a reptilian before. I've seen a gray before. That's a story for another time. Actually, I'll bring up a story right now for you, okay? I didn't want to. I wanted to do my alien abduction story, and I thought something happened to me last year, and maybe have second thoughts on it, to be honest. I woke up one night, suddenly, opened my eyes, and standing right by the bed is a gray alien. I think it's gone. So I'll be honest, I don't know if it was part of my imagination or it was an actual gray alien. It wasn't hazy, it was like I'm seeing the actual thing right in front of me. For a split second. I move my head and blink my eyes and it's gone. So I don't know, I'm still freaked out by it, to be honest. I'm not making this up. My wife didn't wake up at all. Only I did. I was standing about 2 feet from my bed, looking at the wall with a gray alien. 3 foot tall, big eyes, big head, slender body. Any color or anything, you know something's moving though, because the shadows and this little blur thing, whatever. And you hear about cloaked UFOs or cloaked military equipment now. Do we have the technology for it? I wouldn't doubt it. If you create a cloak in a college laboratory, I'm pretty sure the military was doing it way. They got away from the light, which is God, and they can't stand it anymore. They prefer darkness. Remember one thing though. Satan can masquerade as an angel of light. He can shapeshift. So is the devil Skinwalker? That's for you to decide. You've been listening to Biased Propaganda Radio, Live Topic Chat. I want to thank you for showing up for this most interesting topic chat. Thank you, pussnboots, for being my co-host. I appreciate it. I recommend you watch the videos. I recommend you buy the books. I'm going to buy some books myself on Amazon pretty soon on Skinwalker, the Skinwalker Ranch. Some good books out there. George Knapp has some good books on the Skinwalker. He's studied it thoroughly. So check it out. Read at 2 o'clock in the morning with the lights off. No, don't do that. You'll be scared shitless. Knapp is a wise dude. I'd love to interview him sometime too. They have some good stuff. And Puss in Boots, I'd like to say her goodbyes to the room, but stick around, open mic. It was good conversation. Very deep stuff, very troubling stuff, to be honest. And we'll see you next time. Puss in Boots, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Cohen. Luke, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for listening tonight to Biased Propaganda Radio, and to everybody in the chat room for inputting all of their ideas and their questions.